Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. It is time to reconnect some loose ends here. A guy that, when YSN started, was one of my first interviews on the network, and here we are. We come full circle. It's Jeff Wilson, now at Austintown Fitch, the head girls coach there for the Hoops team. Jeff, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you, DJ?
I'm wonderful, wonderful. It's good to see you again. Obviously, we've kept in contact over this time, but the last time we saw you, on a Coach's Corner, it was with Crestview Boys. From there, you had a stint with Cardinal Mooney, your alma mater, and now you go to where you work. So kind of one of those things, like, I love seeing the progression of it, but I love seeing the fire in your belly once again for coaching basketball and being the lead dog. Talk to me about the process that's been over the last few years for you.
It's going over to Mooney was a great experience. Kerry Palermo is one of the best coaches in the area, and he's my cousin. That's not why I'm saying that, but he is one of the best. And you never stop learning. I mean, I'm getting older, and you don't stop learning. He's a great coach. And then last year, I came back with Coach Beanie, who's also a great coach, one of the best in the area, and one of my best friends, and that was great coming back home to Fitch. And then the girls' job opened up, and thought about it. And I coached girls at the beginning of my career for 11 years, and so 10 years later, I'm back at it, and we're loving it.
I love hearing that. And again, the girls are going to love what you bring to the table. A lot of energy, a lot of passion, and you've got a great group. You've assembled a great staff. Talk about your staff before we get started on your team.
Yeah, you know what? One of the coaches I coached with at Mooney, Andre Edmonds, he's our freshman coach. We don't have a freshman team, but he's helping out with JV and varsity with our bigs, and he's a great guy and really positive. John Dubeck, who previously coached at Struthers, is our JV coach. John does a lot of coaching with AAU and now at Fitch, and another young guy who knows the game really well. And Julie Ostalosh, who Coach Aaron Blatch, another great coach, hooked me up with down at Crestview, and she's our assistant varsity coach, and girls love her. She's, she just brings a lot of positivity as well. And then Renald Ray, who's our volunteer assistant, is back from the previous staff, and a lot of basketball knowledge and very dedicated. So I'm really blessed. It's a loyal staff. Everybody's got each other's back. There's no ego, and just really excited. It's like starting over,
I love hearing that. And again, if you don't know Jeff Wilson, you don't know the animated things you're going to see on the sidelines. But it's all for your team, and these girls, I think, are going to respond to that. Talk to me about this. Is an interesting kind of mix that you have here in your first year. Mm-hmm. One senior that you have, and then it's just experience needed, and the only way to get experience, as is to get the experience. So talk to me about what this team is going to need to get that experience under their belt and be competitive here in 21 and 22.
Yeah, it's one of my biggest sayings, at practice is everything's fluid. You're fighting for a spot every day. When a new coach comes in, it's, who the returners are, but that doesn't guarantee anything. We got one senior, Julia Senadak, and she has some varsity experience. We have two other starters, Zeta Creaky, who was leading scorer on the team last year, great shooter, and Ayla Ray, who's a sophomore, who played a variety of positions last year. And then we have a lot of other juniors, sophomores, and freshmen who are filling the need for JV and varsity. We want to push the ball. We want to pressure the ball. We want to play hard on D. And it's that old grind it out type of mentality that, it's a lot of skill work. It's a lot of shell drill. It's a lot of trapping and getting trapped to practice, and just getting used to the pressure, especially for the younger kids who don't have varsity experience. The speed of the game is just so much different.
I know from past experience that no matter who's on the floor, your expectation for greatness does not lower to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're playing the best team, the best team of the conference, or the worst team on your schedule, so to speak. Your expectation for greatness and to compete never is second to anybody. So talk to me about that expectation for this year. Obviously, it's different having girls than boys and coaching girls than boys, and a lot of people actually prefer it sometimes because, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers with anybody, but I think you and I both know, and we've heard the old adage, girls listen a lot better than boys do at this level.
Some of them. But, yeah, you know what, they do. And they're it is different. It took a couple weeks to get reacclimated and with girls. But, you look at like a guy like Aaron Blatch, who went from boys to girls and how successful he's being. And Aaron and I talk quite a bit. But I like it, and it doesn't matter. Somebody told me, and I totally agree, that I don't coach girls basketball, I coach basketball. And whether you're a girl or a guy, you got to be physical, you got to be tough, you got to bring it. And the girls are buying in, and they're getting tougher and more physical every day.
So you're coaching basketball. It's a great way to look at it. And because there is that's what you're doing. There's one ball, there's two hoops, and whoever scores more is going to win the game. Talk about your expectations for this team in 21-22. What's the character? Have you been able to kind of put your finger on the character of this team yet?
Yeah, the character is, they all come to work. And that took a little bit, but we had a great summer, going down to Huggins, really show them what physicality is. West Branch Summer League with great teams like West Branch and Salem and some others who are both on our schedule. The expectation this year is to compete in our league. The girls, they did not win a league game last year. And we have a good league. All D1 schools and some floaters between D1 and D2. And our schedule, Ursuline's the only D3 team. And they're better than the traditional, when you think D3 in terms of Ursuline. I think in girls athletics especially, division doesn't mean much. A lot of schools have players that are D1, D2, D3, or 4 that could be good teams. But the rest of our games, we have like 13 D1 opponents, 8 D2, and then Ursuline. And so, we want to compete in the AAC. We want to win some league games. I don't like to put a number on wins or whatever, but I think we're going to be able to compete and have a chance in most of our games.
And you think about it, that's what all you can ask out of your girls is to compete in the games. And being a first-year coach with this group and having I don't want to say an experienced group, but a young group of ladies that are coming out for basketball here this year, there's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some bumps and bruises early on. What are some of the things that you're looking to overcome early on and to have ironed out by the end of the year?
If we started today, we have an injury. So tonight we have a preview game at Liberty against Liberty. And I'll be starting 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and a junior. And, the scrimmages, they've all been getting better every time. We've scrimmaged some good teams like Gilmore Academy and Columbiana and Liberty. It's just to overcome that inexperience, and they've been doing that. So now tonight, with even though it's only a half of a game, they will see what a real, atmosphere looks like and feels like, and just take a deep breath and you'll be fine. And I'll tell you, these younger kids and the older kids, there doesn't seem to be nerves as long as we keep positive and keep explaining to them that it's a process. They'll be just fine. They're great competitors.
I think one of the best things and my favorite things about you, Jeff, is the fact that you, in every facet of your life, you continue to overcome adversity. What's one trait that you hope that the girls take from you onto the floor every night? Because as we know, a leader is someone that, when it goes downhill, they're embodied by their team. So what's one trait you hope, and not to pat yourself on the back, but honestly, what's one trait you hope the girls take from you?
I think that not giving up on things, things don't always go your way. Things don't always work out the way you want, but it's the next play mentality. You can't sulk about it. You can't pout about it. You can't dwell on it. You just got to move on and, and keep going and work hard, whether it's on the court or in a class or in life or a job, and don't take criticism from people you wouldn't ask advice from. It's one of those old things, like Dabo Sweeney says, it's just one of those things that you can't listen to outside noise or worry about people who don't have your best interests at heart.
All right, 2 more questions before I let you go. I know you're a busy guy. So first one, Austintown is a very special community, one that supports its athletics very, very well. What are you hoping that they come out and they see and they love about this team in 21 and 22?
Yeah, I mean, I've taught here half my life. I've coached here almost half my life. I mean, this is my 22nd or 3rd year coaching, and 20 of them have been here, 24th year teaching. And I can't say enough about the Austintown schools. And, it starts at the top with Mr. Capizzello, great superintendent, Russell Hauser, our AD, other administrators. They're going to see what Austintown's all about. And being an Austintown Fitch athlete is about hard work and a we over me mentality. I told Mr. Capizzello in my interview that he'll be proud when he comes to the games, and win or lose, there's no give up.
And finally, I have to ask, the kids doing well, obviously, your wife doing wonderful as always. Talk to me, as the kids get older, do they have an appreciation for what Daddy does?
Yeah, so Patrick's 5 now, and he knows I coach now. He just doesn't, they're back here on the wall here.
There you go.
And Sydney's 2.5, and she's a little spitfire. And so, yeah, I mean, they know that Dad coaches, and he, this time of year he's not around as much, but whether it's going home, if I practice at 5, picking them up from school and just spending an hour with them, or and then after I get home, and they love coming to the games. They came up, took pictures with us the other day, and my wife is awesome. Dealing with coaching. Coaches' wives deal with a lot, and the time we put in. So, we're starting our youth skill sessions this Sunday, and Patrick's going to come up and work. And so, yeah, it's just good as they get older, kind of get them in the gym and start teaching them.
I'm a big fan, Jeff. I can't wait to do these coaches' corners with you again. Some of my favorite times were spent talking to you one-on-one, on and off the record. So thank you for joining us here today. We appreciate it. Best of luck this year, and we'll talk to you very soon, my friend.
TJ, thanks. YSN, like you said from the beginning, you become a really good friend, and I appreciate everything.
You got it, brother. Be well.
You too.